All right, so good afternoon, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started. I want to welcome you to, this is probably the fourth time that we've hosted this workshop. And it's really a workshop that we want to continue to do because we believe in giving people a hand up, and we believe in teaching people how to fish. And sometimes information, if applied, that knowledge will lead to greater opportunities. And that's essentially what we want to do, is to present opportunities for you. So I'm just going to jump into some housekeeping items before we introduce our panelists and have a quick overview of our department. This will be a 60-minute webinar. We are indeed streaming this on Facebook Live. And so for those of you who are participating on Facebook, you'll be able to drop any questions in the comment section. If you are participating via Zoom, we ask that you ask any questions via chat or in the Q&A button, and we'll have an opportunity to address those questions as we move forward. I'm going to begin by looking at what we want to discuss today. When I worked at Community Action probably 6-7 years ago, and we are an organization that provides free tax return services. So we help individuals to process their tax refunds. And we would notice that many of the clients that came in actually had a sizable refund. Sometimes they would get $5,000, $6,000. I've seen clients get $8,000, $9,000 back. And we would host orientations and listen to our clients. And sometimes they would, not make the best decisions in terms of investing those dollars to help them to move to a better situation economically. We would see them get caught up in scams, buying new cars, or oftentimes purchasing things that wouldn't alleviate some of the challenges that they were facing from day to day. And so we decided to start hosting these workshops around tax season every year to give people the opportunity and the knowledge they need to be able to invest wisely. And this year, along with your tax returns, there may be an opportunity for you to get another stimulus check. And if that is the case, we want to make sure that you have the knowledge and information that you need in order to start a business that will help elevate your household income, or maybe even take advantage of some other opportunities that are available. And so that's basically what we want to discuss today, is how to invest wisely, what types of businesses you can invest in, and how do you get it started, what resources are available. And if you even have a business that may be under the table or that you want to grow, we want to introduce you to some individuals who can help you to do that. And so I'm just going to take about 3 or 4 minutes to go through some introductions. And then I'm going to give you a quick overview of our department and who we are. I never want to miss an opportunity to do that. And then we're going to jump right into hearing from our panelists today. So I'll start with Mary Weimer. She's with the Department of Housing and Economic Sustainability. The director and another division director is also on the call, Jonathan Brown and Sherry Howard. They are individuals who are very knowledgeable in this space. They do more than just help individuals or contract with organizations that can help you to start your business and grow your business. But they also do a whole lot with down payments for first-time home buyers. We have a pretty robust program to help those of you who may be looking to purchase your first home. Fantastic programs there. They do a lot for economic development, helping businesses to move to the area, and also helping to address housing shortages in the area. And, they do exactly what their name says. They are the Department of Housing and Economic Sustainability, and they are the central or the core in providing those services. And Mary is one of their members, a member of their team who focuses a lot on business resources. And then we have Chandra Stringer, who is a very dynamic individual that I'm always happy to bring to the stage. Chandra is a go-getter. She is very community oriented. She is all about creating opportunities for nonprofits and for-profits who are starting up and making sure that they have the technical assistance that they need. She is also big with creating opportunities like, I forget what it's called, Chandra, where you bring those businesses together and just invite the community out to support them. But you'll hopefully can talk a little bit about that. And she's just a great asset to our community that we're excited to hear from today. And then we have Leah Gaines, who probably needs no introduction. I consider Leah one of my mentors. She's been in this community for a very long time. She's an activist, but she's also very business oriented and operates the Center for Enterprise Opportunity, the Business Loan Fund. She's a wealth of knowledge and has a wealth of knowledge and information about businesses and how they can be supported and how they can grow and be strategic and capitalizing on different markets that are out there. And so very excited, always excited to hear insightful information from Leah. And then we have Natalie Diaz, who works with the Community Services Department. Natalie works primarily with overseeing our community action program, and that's kind of where I came from and have my roots. And so Natalie is going to share some information about community action, and then we'll jump into our panelist discussion. But here's a quick overview. This is our mission, vision, and values. We are all about promoting independence and making sure that people are self-sufficient. Where we see a vision where if you're in Palm Beach County, you're going to be connected to opportunities, and whatever it is that you want to do, whatever you are specialists or you're good at, we want to help you to reach that full potential. And we certainly want to do it with respect, making sure that we keep equity at the core. We want to be compassionate, have a level of integrity and professionalism that will allow you to be fully empowered to do what it is that you want to do. From a high level perspective, our department works with the Citizens Advisory Committee. We are a special community. We have a lot more resources than other communities, other 67 counties throughout the 66 counties throughout the state. We actually look at our health and human services element from the lens that you see here: housing, employment, transportation, hunger, health, wellness, education, safety and justice, and childcare. And we have organizations that serve as the backbone entity in these spaces. So for housing and homelessness, you'll see community services. We make sure that we not only fund organizations to provide the services, but we provide direct services. And we're looking at the data, making sure we know who's getting services, how much they're getting, what the outcomes are, how well they're performing, how long they're staying out of homelessness, and what the return on investment is. We understand the interdependent nature of all of these different domains. And so we want to work to support each other in aligning our policies and making sure that people are getting what they need. We understand that you can't maintain employment if you don't have transportation, or if you're homeless, or if your health is poor and you don't have access to healthcare. Like, all of these things are interdependent. And so we meet monthly as a Citizens Advisory Committee to make sure that we're operating in an effective and efficient way. And for our department, we fund 125 different nonprofits and programs, really focusing on helping seniors, veterans, special needs population, farm worker, HIV and AIDS population, and the low income population. We service about 50,000 individuals per year. And we have 3 huge initiatives that are a part of our focus, really 4, since we're looking to end the HIV and AIDS epidemic by the year 2030, since the CDC have come out with the great news that if you're undetectable, if your viral loads are undetectable, then you can't transmit HIV. And so we want to make sure that we're getting people into treatment and care and making sure that they have the resources they need in order to get those viral loads suppressed. And so that's a huge initiative. But we also have 3 other initiatives that is important for you to know about. One is our poverty reduction initiative, which I talked to some people about earlier, where we're helping families to move out of poverty, trying to reduce the poverty rate by 10%. That's called Securing Our Future. You can go to the website and see everything you need to know about that initiative. It is broad, it's comprehensive, it's a very integrated approach. We're very proud of the work that we're doing. And there's a booklet that Social Demographic Barriers Report will let you know everything there is to know about every assessment, every plan, and how all of that is integrated and tied into opportunities for economic mobility. And so we are also overseeing the homeless plan, Leading the Way Home. You can go there. You've heard a lot about homelessness and the work that we're doing, building shelters, building affordable homes, helping people to move into permanent housing settings. Very broad and comprehensive strategy that certainly we want you to take a look at your leisure. And then we also have the Drug Czar here, helping with behavioral health and substance use disorders. So the opioid epidemic, we do a lot to fund things like the Addiction Stabilization Center and a number of providers who are providing treatment for people with substance use disorders, and bringing community assets like recovery centers and other things to play here in Palm Beach County. So a lot happens in this department. I just want to make sure that you're aware of that, because what we're doing here by providing knowledge to empower you to invest wisely is just a small piece of what we are accustomed to doing. And so without further ado, I want to turn it over to Natalie Diaz. She's going to go ahead and talk for a few minutes about our Community Action Agency, maybe about 5 minutes or so, and then we're going to shift it to our panelists and have a quick discussion on how you can use your tax refund to start a business or to grow your business here in Palm Beach County. Natalie?
All right, good afternoon, everyone. Like James said, my name is Natalie Diaz Rodriguez, and I am the Community Action Program Manager. And I want to thank everyone, first of all, for attending the session. The Community Action Program's mission is to remove barriers and create opportunities for low-income individuals and their families. And with this, we enable them to become more economically self-sufficient. And how do we achieve this? Well, we have a couple of different programs and partners that we work with in terms of vocational training opportunities. And one of the vocational training opportunities that I would like to focus on today is the CDL license. In one of our events a few years ago, I heard about a person that obtained their CDL license through a community action agency here in Florida. And they not only obtained their license and became employed for a certain amount of time, but the next step, they were able to open up their own business, obtain their own truck, and increase their income to over $100,000 a year. And they were able to sustain their family and change their life fully. And so, and mind you, this was a person that had a background, and so they had just gotten out of jail, and so these are the type of opportunities that Community Action provides. We also have vocational training opportunities in the medical field, such as home health aid, PCT, so those patient care technicians and CNAs. And so we want to provide that opportunity to begin going into the workforce, and perhaps later providing opportunities for people to become self-employed, to open up their own businesses. So how does that relate to VITA tax and to actually opening up a business? Well, the first thing that you want to consider is stretching your tax return. And so the United Way VITA tax program is that start. And luckily, Community Action Partnership is one of United Way's VITA tax programs partners. And so we've been able to, for over, I want to say 5 years, we've been able to partner and open up our office doors so that VITA tax volunteers can come in and process tax returns for our clients and for the community in general. This year, the United Way VITA program has also partnered with local libraries. And so not just with our Jupiter office. And so if you know families that have, that their total household income is at or below 66,000 for 2020, then they are eligible to have their taxes prepared for free. And so because of COVID, we've had to change the way that we are partnering with VITA Tax. And so our clients have a couple of options of obtaining that service. So the first thing is they can go to their website and make an appointment to either have someone, a volunteer, process their tax return face to face, or have their documents all together, copies, and drop them off by appointment as well to one of their centers, or they can file their taxes themselves using myfreetaxes.com. And so, again, community action not only provides vocational training opportunities, but also partners with United Way to provide this service. And in addition to that, we have an array of other services to stabilize our families, such as rental assistance, utility assistance, financial management, and any other type of referrals to cover these families' needs. So we are ready to assist everyone, and our call center phone number is 561-355-4792. If you're writing it down, 561-355-4792. And our website, you can go to our website. There's a wealth of information, especially now with the pandemic. There is so much more assistance that we can provide. And so if you go to rentalassistancepbc.com, you can read information. We have different FAQs for our different services and programs, and you can certainly apply online depending on the service that is available at that time. So,
Right. Thank you. Thank you very much, Natalie. We appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Right. So what we want to do is we want to just really start to jump right in and have some discussions about where we are. And so what I want to do is begin by talking to Chandra Stringer, who's one of our panelists. Chandra, can you just talk a little bit about how families can maximize their tax refunds this year to get out of debt? What would you say are the do's and I know you work with quite a few individuals who are getting some tax refunds back, and you probably have heard some stories of how they use their refunds and probably in not so much the best ways. What are the do's and the don'ts, and how can they maximize their tax refunds this year? You're on mute.
All right, good afternoon, everyone, and happy Tuesday. So real quickly, I would say the first thing is to create a goal. Create a goal sheet in regards to what are you looking to accomplish. If it's needing to improve your credit score, because one of the things as relates to credit and taxes, credit is attached to everything now, from car insurance to places to live, everything. So write out your goals, what are your financial goals and what you hope to accomplish. And then from there, look at what your budget is and how you would have that traditional income that you have coming in, and then this extra income, how can you maximize that? Are you able to pay down some of the credit cards, which would increase your credit score to get you under that 30% utilization? Are you able to, if you have collection accounts, are you able to negotiate those past accounts so that can be reported paid as agreed? So there's many different ways that you really can maximize it. But I'm going to say start with the goals first, and then that will help shape your pathway as to how you can do that. And the don'ts would be careful. Know that your journey is an individual journey. Do not go on Facebook and see who did what with their tax return, or Instagram and all those things. Keep your eyes focused on your goals, because financial stability really and truthfully is an individual process. Processes and systems are the same, but it's an individual journey as to what you want to do for you and your family to create a legacy. Now you're muted, Jane.
Thank you. Leah, let's go to you, and then we'll go to Mary next. Can you just talk a little bit, Leah, about what type of startup businesses would, be low to start up, but could probably yield some pretty decent income? If you're getting, $4,000 or $5,000 back on your tax returns, what are some of the businesses that people might want to start looking at that could actually grow that investment? You're on mute. You're on mute, too, Leah. You're still on mute. So ask to unmute. Let's see. Jody, are you able to unmute Leah? Oh, there you go. Okay. We still can't hear you, Leah. You might want to turn your volume up. No. Some reason it's not going through. Maybe what I can do is, I don't know, maybe call you on, because you can hear. Maybe if I call you on your phone, then you'll be able to talk from there. We've had to work that out before. Sorry about that. A few technical difficulties here. Probably should have tested that out before.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Yes, go ahead.
Is there an echo?
No, not for us, but you probably want to turn your volume down so there's not an echo.
All right. So thank you very much for inviting me to participate. I think this is like the third time we participated. I want to really say I'm really happy to hear Chandra talk about the individual journey, because while I'm going to give you some ideas about some low barrier to entry businesses, I do want to focus on the fact that it really is going to depend on the individual as well as the business opportunities in the markets that are out there. But to start, just to answer your question, there are home-based businesses that are great low barrier to entry businesses. You have, for example, pet sitting, pet grooming businesses. These are businesses that don't really take a lot of assets to start. Residential cleaning services. Even Natalie mentioned CNAs. You can take your job and actually transition it to a business simply by going to the state of Florida and getting certified as a home health worker. So a CNA can get certified as a home health worker, can hire themselves out for private duty and hire. There are just a range of opportunities there.
Hey, Leah.
Makeup artistry is one.
Hey, Leah, we are getting feedback. for some reason. So what I want to do is put a pause on that. Let's see if we can get your sound on your computer
Yeah, it's
fixed.
telling me that my browser, so do you have to?
You may be able to go on Google Chrome and get a better connection if you log off and log back on. And what we can do is we can hear from Mary, and then we'll circle back around. And we heard most of it, but it had a lot of feedback. So,
Okay, all right.
all right. So Mary.
Yes. Hi, James.
All right.
Can you hear
So
me?
what? Yes, we can hear you. So why don't you take some time to just share with us some of the programs Department of Housing and Economic Sustainability has to offer for individuals who are seeking to start or grow their business using their tax refund.
Okay. Thank you so much for having me today. I see some familiar faces, Chandra, a lot of new faces. Thank you again. My name is Mary Weimer. I'm the business manager for Department of Housing and Economic Sustainability. I would like to briefly just share. This is our website. Since James talked about all his programs, I can just briefly show you where all our programs are. It's many programs that we offer, from housing to economic development. Our mission is to advance a high quality of life for Palm Beach County residents through our housing, public services, infrastructure improvement, and economic development. That's where I come in. If you go where my browser is at the programs, all the programs are listed on the website, and the business programs are listed on the website. So it's very easy to navigate each program. I'm going to stop sharing so you can see me again. Today, I would like to talk a little bit of our loan programs, because question is what to do with money or tax refund that we get in the end of the year to either put it towards our current business or start a new business. Our department covers many loan programs and incentive programs. Our main programs are federal loan programs, which they are federal dollars, and microloan is one of the programs that I would like to talk in specific during this session. Our microloan program differs from the rest of the loan programs because it's available to startup businesses as well. While with the rest of the loan programs, the business needs to be established and has 3 years of financials. One thing to keep in mind is that our department, our section, when it comes to the loan programs, we do act like a bank, and we do operate like a bank when it comes to underwriting a loan. We do look at the tax returns, we do look at the ratios, and we do need the equity. So since every bank or every financial institution or lender, when they lend money for a business, for a project, they need to see some equity from the business owner, if it's either a new business owner or a current business owner. They need to see that the business owner is serious enough to put some of his own money or equity to this business. The least required is 10%. So depending on the size of the business, that the total project cost, they have to put at least 10%. That will make it more favorable for a bank or our department to lend money to a business. I'm going to share my screen with you guys. I put a little presentation together. I'm probably gonna not go through all of it because it's a little bit long, but I'm gonna go straight to more information about microloan and some Q&As. Okay. Can you see?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay. I'm very new to Zoom, so I just want to make sure I'm sharing the right information with you guys. So as I mentioned before, the objective and purpose of our department is to increase our economic activity in the county, create jobs, stimulate businesses, have businesses come to Palm Beach County, relocate, expand. I'm sorry?
No, go ahead. Go
Okay.
ahead.
Expand, increase our Palm Beach County tax base, and we are very focused on disadvantaged communities such as the Glades area. We are very dedicated to promote those areas, as sometimes it's hard to bring investors in those areas. Our programs, as I mentioned, there are loans, there are incentives, bonds. That we have also a USDA loan program, which is it's available in rural communities and is funded by Department of Agriculture. And each loans has different terms and different rates. So I can go in specific with individual clients based on what they're looking for, and I can customize what would be the best program for the applicant, because it's not the same for everybody. Our loan programs are used for gap financing, is for especially for the loan programs that not the microloans, but the rest of the loan programs is for that portion that the bank or the business owner does not have. And most of that portion is the working capital. Banks and financial institutions, they finance fixed asset. They finance land, building, construction, acquisition, machinery equipment, like real fixed assets. So in case of a foreclosure, they can always take the collateral. When it comes to working capital, banks are more skeptical, and it's more risky. So that's where we come in. Like we come in to fill that gap that the banks are not willing to finance, and the borrower or the business owner does not have enough equity or funds on his own to fill that gap. So we have excellent rates. Our rates varies from different loan programs, but they are very compatible. In many cases, they are lower than what financial institutions will offer. Our loan programs are also used for real estate acquisition, construction, equipment, machinery equipment, working capital, environmental cleanup, and energy retrofitting. We have major success in Palm Beach County, not only creating jobs, but real helping businesses that started as a little mom and pops, and they grew up into large businesses. And we could not have done it without the partnership and the help that we had with our subrecipients or our incubators. We work with several of incubators, and excuse me, my phone is ringing. And one of them is CEO, which Leah is on a panelist as well, and she can talk more in details about her what CEO does for the businesses. But basically, we work with like Business Investment Corporation, Center of Enterprise Opportunity, and Center for Technology, or as they call it, TED Center. These providers, they provide technical assistance. They provide business plans. They go over financials. They provide credit counseling to individuals. They are lacking in certain areas of the business, or they don't understand what is going wrong, or why their cash flow is not what they expect to be. So all these incubators are very helpful especially for the little businesses that is operated by either one or two, or just a party, or just a family-owned business. They're hands-on business. They don't have time to look at the profit and loss statements, income statements, balance sheet. They're more worried about working, let's say, at the restaurant and being on front of the restaurant, cooking or serving. So it's very important for us and for the banks to for a business, in order for them to get money, they have to have their financials in order, because we have to underwrite, and because per federal guidelines, we have to meet the ratios that are required when it comes to collateral and that value, that to loans ratios.
Mary, I want to segue here, because this is a great, I think, segue to hear a little bit more deeply
Sure.
from a partner like Leah on. So we have, probably 45, 50 people on the call. I know that there are some individuals on this call right now who either have this business idea or they have a business that they're either making a little bit money on the side, but they want to grow it to scale. Can we just take a moment to hear from Leah? I think she has a sound fixed really quickly. What would you tell those individuals, Leah, to get started on that business idea, or to kind of grow their business if they've already started a little bit? And then, Mary, we're going to come back to make sure that they can get the information from DHES as well, because you guys offer obviously a very broad range of services for individuals.
Okay, yes, good afternoon again, everyone. I'm glad that I got squared away. I had to reboot. But basically what I wanted to focus on, in addition to just the laundry list of businesses that are low barrier to entry, anything from personal shopper to delivery services to hauling to even personal chef, which does not require you to have a catering certification. Those are all low barrier to entry businesses. But as you mentioned, James, really what I want people to focus on is, how do you come up with a business idea that's right for you? And this is how you do it. You start with brainstorming. You take an assessment. What are my skills, interests, even dreams, qualifications, and experience? Because it's got to start really with aligning with where you are, what you want to do, and taking inventory of those things. Next, you would just start with writing down some ideas, but keeping in mind what your background is and how you think you can do something. Keep up with the current events, but look at what are some new products or services, or how can you improve on products and services, or add value to an existing product and service. For example, with COVID now, a lot of people are going more into health and wellness in terms of using food to really maintain and improve their health. So you can take delivery services, say, of providing food to individuals, and you might want to overlay that with providing them with recipes and going shopping, specializing in whole foods or farm to table, actually tapping into local sources of farm and whole foods here, bringing them to individuals who are really trying to boost their immune system and delivering that, but also providing some recipes and information on what these whole foods are good to boost your immune system. Write down the ideas, do a self-assessment, and then eventually what you're going to have to do, you're going to have to select the best one that's suited for you. Now, you might want to say, how do I know if I'm ready to go into business? There are a variety of self-assessment tools you can access. I'm going to put some in the chat for people to tap into. SBA has some that basically all the technical assistance providers provide, and they really look at your personal characteristics, they look at your readiness characteristics, and they look at your financial readiness. And I have prepared, if I may share, if I can share the screen. Do I just click the share screen, Jim?
Yeah, so Mary, if Mary will have to unshare, we're going to come back to Mary because I see she has some questions. People have questions for her in the chat. So,
Okay, but yeah, I'm going to just go over.
We're going to come back, but you can share now, Leah. She unshared.
Okay, so
if you want to share now,
great, sir.
And then what we'll do after you is we'll go to Chandra and then back to Mary.
So yes, I'm going to share some of the tools that we have. So we do some training. Can you see it? Can you see it now?
No, we don't see it yet. If you see the green share screen, right? This green.
Yeah, I clicked that.
And then you should be.
I clicked that. Okay. I don't know what's going on today. Share your screen, wants to share contents. It's not coming up.
Okay. Do you have a website?
But anyway, Yeah, but anyway, basically, I
Okay.
wanted to share some of our ebook that we have that we provide for as tools or resources to reinforce what we do in our workshops. And it covers everything from starting with your personal finances. So we have you do a personal financial statement, because before you go into business, you've got to know where you stand personally first for a variety of reasons. Number one, it's a great dress rehearsal for when you're going to have to pay attention to detail about what's coming into your business and what's going out, as well as it's going to give you some experience on actually budgeting. So we have some tools some interactive tools, which can help you assess what your net worth is and your personal financial status. So, the rule of thumb is before you go into business, you need to have at least 6 months of personal expenses in a buffer fund. And I hate to be the party pooper, but really, particularly now in the time of COVID, because there's so many risks out there that can impact your business, you've got to be able to even draw from that fund for your personal expenses or for your business if necessary. So we have that. We also have like a professional development worksheet that's interactive that lets you list all of your strengths and your weaknesses, so you can figure out what skill sets you might need to bring to your business that you don't possess, that you can bring through consultants or through partners or through people that you want to employ. We have an operational planning checklist that goes over all of the specific basic due diligence things you've got to do to get prepared for starting a business. So what I say to those individuals is to, we look at record keeping. That's very important. So use the time. Just because you got your refund, it doesn't mean you got to go into business the next day. So use some time to get your personal finances squared away, because as Ms. Stringer said, credit is important. And when you're starting a business, eventually credit is going to be important. Even though you might have that initial startup money from your tax refund, you're going to need some credit to continue to operate. And when you're starting out, they have to look at your personal credit because you don't have a business credit record. So these are things that you need to focus on. Improving your personal credit score, because that's going to help you access greater and greater credit. So, but it really starts with just brainstorming an idea, doing some assessments, writing it down. How is it aligned with what your skill sets are, your experiences? Have you ever worked in that area, etc.? And then go from there and try to fine tune it and work your way towards readiness. And I will put in the chat room, as you continue the discussion, James, some tools for people to do those assessments.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Leah. So we're going to, Chandra, a question. We're going to circle back around to Mary because she has some, I see some people in the chat that are asking for more information. And forgive me if we go a little bit over today's webinar. An hour is a very short period of time to get in the valuable information that we're sharing today. But Chandra, Leah talked quite a bit about different businesses and how they might think about getting started. Some individuals on the call might even be thinking about starting a nonprofit. Can you just talk a little bit about some of the types of businesses that you've helped get started? And if they're a nonprofit organization, what are some things that they want to think about before they jump into that?
Oh boy, that's a loaded question. I'm gonna try to answer in 2 minutes. So in regards to a nonprofit, most individuals start because something happened to them, myself included. 25 years ago, you're looking at a person that was sleeping in her car at the Palm Beach Mall. So with an 8-month-old baby. I can't get arrested because now she's 24 and working on her own. But anyway, something happened in that person's life that they want to create change or whatever. But my question is always should it be a program in collaboration with an existing nonprofit, or should you actually have a new nonprofit starting in the organization, in the community? In 2015, there was over 2.5 million nonprofit organizations. That was 6 years ago. So you have to know there's many, many, many. So the first question is always, do you have what is your why? And if you had to get up every day for 3 years and do what you say you want to do without pay, could you do that? And a lot of times it's like, oh, no, 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 I don't want to do that, because either they're watching the internet or they're watching somebody else and they're saying, oh, there's all kinds of grant monies out there and you can just start a nonprofit. And I'm like, no, it's just like anything else. Grants are not free money. You got to have sweat equity in it. And so when you start thinking about starting a nonprofit, you got to ask yourself, what is the sustainability of what you're trying to do? That's number one. And then if you really want to do it and move forward with it, volunteer at another organization that is doing what you're looking to do. And the last thing, know that Rome was not built in a night. You see my background, I'm actually in the Belgrade area at my Belgrade office, and I work with a conglomerate of nonprofits out here by funding through Quantum Foundation and Community Foundation. And I often remind them, this is a journey. You don't start a nonprofit and get a $150,000 grant the next month. It doesn't work that way. People want to know that you're committed to the cause, and 3 to 5 years from now, you're going to be around. You're on mute, James.
Can you talk a little bit about your networking group and how you help businesses that are established to introduce them to the community and
yes. So Saturday, yes, that's what it is. Saturday, Blessed Boulevard Business Marketplace is back open. Many know that we started in 2014 doing that with one person selling bakery items. And I am overjoyed to tell you that that one person who used to have 25th Street cars all the way around the street now has her own brick and mortar. And we laugh and talk about that. Her name is Paula. You can go to Cakes, etc., and you can ask her. She started right on Blessed Boulevard. So Saturday from 11 to 5, we will be back open. Of course, during the pandemic, we had to shut down for a while, but we have all the permits and everything. And the goal for this particular platform is for new businesses to get exposure. It's hard to go and get a loan or a brick and mortar location when you don't have following customers to support that. So Blessed Boulevard, it was created in 2014, 2015 to create a platform for what we call the village to be able to come and sell their products or food if you get licensed. And we know we can help you with that because there's different types of food licensing. And the health department has been very instrumental in making sure we have everything that we need as a checklist. And so we're grateful that last year through the marketplace and the village, we were able to incorporate, insure, and license 13 businesses. And awesome. All of those businesses have pivoted through the pandemic.
Awesome. That's awesome news. It just brings shivers down my spine when I hear such exciting wonderful things happening. So you talked a little bit about a business moving to brick and mortar. I'm going to move back to Mary because she had talked about real estate acquisition and some of those things, which is really, it's really fascinating to me. But the truth of the matter is some people want to jump right into the brick and mortar. Some are ready, some are not. So I want to talk to Mary for a little while to just hear about a little bit more about the real estate acquisition and how people can plug into that if they're at that point. And then I'm going to go back to Leah. And Leah, I want to ask you some questions about people who are, have been operating their business for a little while and how they can jump into this market with the government and start working with the government and some of the things that they need to consider. So Mary, if you could just share a little bit more about what you were sharing before I so rudely interrupted you. It was a lot of valuable information about how you can acquire real estate and use the loans to do that. Share a little bit more information about that, if you would.
Sure. I mean, it's a seller's market right now in South Florida, and its inventories are low. Real estate is very expensive today, but for a small business, if they can operate their business from their home, then they don't need a brick and mortar. Now is the time to do it, as real estate is very expensive. If they do need, because I'm talking about like very small businesses, if they do need the real estate, then of course we have funds to help them with purchasing, acquiring, or either expanding, if they're in certain location and they have enough space to expand the location and increase the capacity or the square footage of the building, we do have funds for that. In cases like that, we partner with the banks and SBA because in the case of the real estate is involved, the total project price cost is bigger, it's higher. So we share the sources with bank and SBA, but someone, because just to connect this together on the chat, did ask for the checklist or the application, or what do they do if they feel like they are ready to apply for a loan. So our website does have on the application and the checklist. The thing is that the checklist that I'm going to share with you right now is a general checklist, meaning that depending on what the business is trying to do, I have to customize it. For example, if we spoke about microloans and they are startups, let me just share the screen so you know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Can you see the checklist?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, so this is the overall checklist that we need from businesses when they apply for a loan. And depending on what type of loan, then we have to customize the checklist and what the funds are used for. In the case of microloan, and if it's a startup, since we're more focused about what the businesses or individuals that receive X amount of dollars, if they can start up their own business, I'm not going to need a business tax returns in this case when it comes to required documentation, business tax returns prior 3 years. If it's a startup, they do not have that. So in this case, I have to customize it, and I said I need your personal tax returns for the last 2 years. Also, definitely on microloan, I'm going to need a business plan. And that's when Leah comes into place, or Head Center comes into place. If they do not have a business plan or they do not know how to structure the deal, they can go ask for that specific technical assistance. And or if I'm asking for quotes, for example, if a business wants to buy a piece of machinery equipment, and before I provide them with sources and uses, I need to know some information such as, well, give me a couple of quotes, like how much do you think that piece of equipment will cost? Because I have to make sure that my sources and uses are as close as possible to what the applicant has in mind. I need to be as close as possible so I know how to divide the sources and uses. Also, if there is no real estate acquisition or any real estate component, we have appraisal report. We're not going to need that if it's just working capital. So depending on what they are applying for, this checklist will be customized. But if an applicant is interested in purchasing real estate, number one, they have to, when they speak with me or they come to the department, they have to know exactly the location, because it's very important for us to know, to make sure if this business is located within Palm Beach County, number one, and is unincorporated, or fall under a municipality. And there is several municipalities in Palm Beach County that they have their own federal funding, since our loan programs are federal dollars. So they either have to match our funding, otherwise we cannot participate in several municipalities. But if it's unincorporated, we can help with our loan programs. So finding exactly where the location is, where it falls in Palm Beach County, then I can ask for, we're gonna need a purchase and sales agreement. It doesn't have to be executed, but I need to see that the applicant is serious. One thing I tell the applicants, number one thing when they fill out a purchase and sales agreement, make sure it always says subject to financing. So they are not kind of like stuck with the purchase and sales agreement and the financing doesn't fall through, it falls through, so it doesn't move forward. And a lot of smaller businesses, maybe they don't know that, they like the property, they know that's where they want to move, that's where the clients are. And when they sign the purchase and sales agreement, they have 45 days to close. And next thing you know, they are not bankable. They cannot get a loan because X, Y, Z, you know, the tax returns, the credit, the credibility, there are so many components. So it's very important for this business to be aware that every time they sign a document, they want to make sure that they have all the other components.
Mary, what's your typical loan size? Like what range of loans do you typically give for something like this? Then we'll move to Leah.
Oh, we've done loans, we've done project costs that go up to $25, $30 million, and our portion is $5 million. And we've done loans that our portion is only $25,000. So depending on the gap financing and the type of loan program, we need approval. If we go over $1 million, we have to go to the board and ask permission because our criteria said everything over $1 million on federal dollars, we need their approval, which the board always agrees with our approves our recommendations because we go there prepared. But yeah, the funding it changes depending on the project cost. And micro loans are up to $25,000, so it can be 5,000, 10, 25 is the max. And the terms are different for the micro loan.
Okay, thank you very much. So Leah, if someone wanted to, they have their business, maybe it's a cleaning business. Cleaning businesses are doing relatively well during this pandemic, right? And they want to get in with the government, one of the 39 municipalities or the county. What are some of the things that you would want to tell because there are a lot of different types of businesses out there that can work with government. What advice would you give to those individuals?
Well, first of all, you've got to pay attention to what they're actually purchasing. So it's very easy. You can go to any of those agencies' websites, go to their purchasing department, and typically they will have, I know Palm Beach County does, they will actually have right there in summary on a page that you can then click and just go deeper and deeper into what are the business opportunities in that jurisdiction. They'll even let you know what they spent their money on in the previous year. For example, if you go to the county's purchasing page, they will tell you what the actual awards were last year. And I think I'm pulling it up now. For example, last year they spent approximately, it says, there's a link that says, what did we order? They spent over $363 million in commodities and services last year. And you can go through and it tells you how much they purchased in those areas, both products and services. So if you're doing cleaning, you can go and see what did they spend in actual commercial cleaning services. And you'll be able to go register there as a vendor. And there's also thankfully now, a minority women's business enterprise program now, and there are goals there. The county is really working towards trying to achieve equity to make sure that where they spend their dollars, they're providing the greatest maximum opportunity for all, particularly those who've been historically excluded. And so you can register and get certified with all of these agencies, with the state of Florida, the Palm Beach County School District, with Palm Beach County. Now, all of the local municipalities may or may not have a small minority program. Most of them have a small business program, but Palm Beach County, I think, has the greatest opportunities for all classifications of individuals who are interested in going into business. So I just say, go to those sites, look at them. There's also information on forecasting, so you can see what they spent last year, but you can also go see what they're forecasting to spend. So you can get ready over the next year for that as well. And then you just have to just get more information about what it is you want to do to get through the system. How is your business classified? There's something called an NIGP classification code. You're going to have to know that, and it's easy to look that up. You can call any of us to get any technical assistance on that. But that's basically what you do. You go there, you register as a vendor, and if you are a small minority business or woman-owned business, you can get certified, and there are some special assistance resources and opportunities for you there as well.
Okay, so we're kind of at our time, but I want to open it up for the audience to see if you guys have any questions that you need to ask. If you want, you can just unmute yourself and ask the question, or you can drop it in the chat. I see that many of you have been asking questions in the chat and have been receiving some of your responses, but I just want to make sure that we open it up for audience. So Renee, if you want to unmute yourself, you can go ahead and ask a question.
Yes, good afternoon. I was just wondering, what was the name? Leah just said the name of a website to go to, and I missed it. Is she gonna put that in the chat or sure?
Yes, I'll put it in the chat. It's discover.pbcgov.org, and then you would just look for the purchasing department, but I will put it in the chat so that you can get there quickly.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Other questions? You can raise your hand on the screen or just unmute yourself and go ahead and ask. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just go around and let each of you just kind of make some closing remarks. I see, Mary, you have some things that looks like you're sharing on the screen as well. So I'll just go ahead. We'll start with you, Mary. You can just, let's take a couple of minutes to make closing remarks, and then we'll go to each of our panelists and take it from there.
Yes, thank you, James. I just wanted to briefly share just a little bit more about the microloans. As somebody on the chat room asked, what is required to fill out an application and what documents do we need? As I mentioned on our website, the application is on the website, but over here you can see who is eligible to apply. It's for-profit companies, and what do they need? Even if it's a startup, they still need a business plan. And they still need 2 years of financial history, either personal if it's startup or business tax return if it's an established business. What are other requirements? As I mentioned, collateral. We have to have collateral. So if the funds are used for machinery equipment, we'll use that piece of machinery equipment as collateral. What other documents are there needed? Beside tax returns? Well, we need the resumes of the owners we need to know the project descriptions, and also a summary of how they tend to use the proceeds of the loans. They have to have a good understanding of what they're going to do with the funds, and what they're projecting for the future, so they don't get a debt that it's going to end up costing them more money if the business is not successful in the long run. These are the rates. I know me and you spoke about what are the rates and the terms for the microloan. In our case, the rate is 5% fixed. The rest of our the other loan program it's a variable rate, is LIBOR plus 100 basis points. This specific loan program is 5% fixed. It's $100 application fee up to $25,000, and the loan terms up to 5 years. And we can go up to 7 years because depending on the life of machinery and equipment, they can have a longer life expectancy. So the term can meet the machinery equipment life. My information is over here on the bottom. My phone number is 561-233-3675. And my email is mwaymer@pbcgov.org. It's a lot of information. I don't want to overwhelm everybody because it's hard to remember. But if anybody in specific or knows somebody that has questions, that is interested, they're more than welcome to either email me or give me a call so we can decide what's the best program for them.
Thank you, Mary. And I saw that Jonathan dropped the website for the Department of Housing and Economic Sustainability in the chat. So you can go there. There's a plethora of information well beyond just microloans. that are available and business loans. Also, all types of information related to housing is there. They do a whole lot in that department. So I would encourage you to go take a look if you can. Natalie, do you have any closing comments that you would like to make?
No, I just wanted to reiterate that Vita Tax program, if you are familiar with doing your own taxes and you want to try there, the website is myfreetaxes.com, or you can make an appointment going on the United Way website, unitedwaypbc.org, so that you can complete that first step in obtaining your tax return.
Thank you, Natalie. We work very closely with CareerSource to provide trainings in construction, trades, roofing, sheetrock, metal, all those security. So, and they plug people into jobs, and there are a lot of job orders happening right now that they're even having trouble filling. So if you're looking to reskill and to move into another industry, you can reach out to Natalie and she can get you connected to the right individuals as well. Chandra, what closing remarks would you like to provide to the audience that's out there?
I always like to leave with a thought process. Just remember that success cannot be purchased on the clearance rack out of Walmart. It is a journey. So you have to take your time and do the right steps, the right rate, the right way the first time. And then if you're looking to do it, just go all in and don't look for anybody else to co-sign it. You just got to know your why. Thank you.
Thank you. And hopefully I can stop by Bless Boulevard this weekend. Are you looking for a directory as well? Is that something that's in the works? A business directory?
I am working on that. I sure would like some help. It's a lot.
Yeah, we used to have one back in the day, but anyway, it's another conversation.
Yeah.
Leah, what are some closing thoughts that you would like to leave with the participants today?
Right. Well, I want to end on an optimistic note to say that I want everybody to prepare and plan so their business can be as successful as possible. But I'm going to give a disclaimer so that you can even be more prepared. And that is, there's a high rate of failure for business startups. And it's because businesses do not plan. So what I say is take the time, be prepared if you're going to go into a business. The better prepared you are, the better prepared you'll be able to deal with any unfortunate scenario, which not if it will come up, but when it comes up. All right. Good luck with everyone, everyone.
Yeah. So I want to say thank you to all of the participants, for all of our panelists. You guys always have very insightful information to share. Again, we will be pushing this recording out through Facebook, so we'll likely have some additional information to share. There were some challenges with getting it live. I had some questions leading up to this workshop about, will you talk about investments, meaning the stock market or cryptocurrency and things of that nature. I like, the starting of businesses, and it's a gamble, but I don't know if it's as risky as trying to jump into the cryptocurrency or the stock market right now, especially without having the knowledge base that you need. So this is not a forum to talk about those type of investments, only to talk about your business ideas and how to get those started, how to take a business that you've already started and grow it, and how to build a network so that you can continue to increase your household income. And hopefully you've gotten that information from today's session. So I want to thank you all for participating. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to reach out to me or to Natalie. My email address is jgreen, spelled like the color, the number 1 at pbcgov.org. That's jgreen, the number 1 at pbcgov.org, or you can call 355-4703. We're more than happy to work with you to make any linkages that you need or to plug you into any of the support services that we provide as a department. So again, thank you. Stay safe, stay blessed, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.